I did. I came about a month into my appointment, and I was appointed January 5th of 2009. And if you all were here when I came and spoke that time, you know that the very first thing I did in the 96th General Assembly was an impeachment trial. So it's like I got sworn in by the person we were going to put on trial. So it was absolutely silent in the room. It was like, usually when the governor walks in, he walks in from the rear and he's escorted by an escort committee to thunderous applause and all that stuff. This man came in from behind the well to silence. I mean, silence. And there was all these banks of CNBC and MSNBC, and you know, people were joking about who was going to play who in the movie version of the impeachment trials. And they said Alicia Keys should be me. And then Senator Jimmy DeLeo was like, if anybody says Joe Pesci, I'm kicking your. So I mean, it was historic and it was surreal because it was one of those moments where you knew this is an incredibly sad day. This is just, I mean, the first time we actually have to remove somebody from office. Largely, and then you had populations of folks who didn't understand the difference between a political trial and a criminal trial. You know, that just like a CEO of a board, once you cannot do your job anymore, the board will act to remove you because everything stands still. So the chambers were completely gridlocked. I mean, completely gridlocked. And I couldn't imagine facing this deficit right now in a year like this if he were still here. So I have no idea what's going to happen in the criminal trial, but I knew that there's no constitutional right to holding a job. You can be tossed out if you are not doing what it is you need to do for the good of the state. So I say that to say that I was looking back at a lot of my press clips from when I first came in and how hopeful I sounded. And I said, oh, I had on some rose-colored black. I mean, when you listen to me, I'm going, everyone is so in touch with the fact that we're in such a hard situation and we're all going to work together, and we all know that we have to do a capital bill, and we all know that we have to fix this budget situation, and there's just such a spirit of camaraderie in the Capitol and under the dome, and I'm just honored to be here, and oh, it's been 15 months. I don't know from cooperation and camaraderie anymore. It's a hot mess. And there's no nice way to say, you know, where we are. And I have been, you know, in the first part of the legislative cycle is when you're supposed to do all your substantive legislation. Those things that are supposed to move the state forward. The second part, you're really only supposed to deal with emergency legislation and the budget. So last year when we went into special session, and remember that wasn't supposed to happen because of all the spirit of camaraderie. Everybody was supposed to work together. We had worked in unison to create the Capitol bill, and we worked in unison to oust the governor. So we were going to do all this stuff and come together. We're not. Now it's so partisan and the rhetoric is heating up, and we're moving into that thing called crazy season where, just as the president said, you get robbed of the ability to have rational discourse about what's facing our state and what we need to do to fix it. I mean, you get robbed of it. So I find myself going around and talking to people all the time going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back if I keep shooting straight like this, but this is a mess. I'm scared and you should be scared. There's no pretty way to say this.